This is Miss Bella. She's 5 years old. I haven't spent a lot of time on her yet because her rear end is, I'll use the term reactive. She's very defensive about her rear end, but when I say defensive, I mean offensive. So instead of being shy about it, she immediately threatens to kick you. And I could probably show you, I've worked really hard on it because she's got 4 shoes on now. So I did what I call stand for the farrier lessons, which involved desensitizing her rear end and diffusing that aggressive kick instinct, which if you went back there for fly spray or to pick up a foot or anything, she basically just wanted to kick you, and she'd actually swing the foot without, not full speed, but as a pretty obvious warning. And so I worked really hard on that, but then we've had a lot of rain, so I lost continuity of training. And the first thing that happened, I noticed, is these back feet, and that's not bad. She just picked it up gently, and I already picked her feet, and I fly sprayed her, so I've already gone through the remember, thou shalt not, try to hurt me with those. This one is obviously, your offside is always worse than your near side, but you can see she just switched her weight and picked it up for me. Oh, very nice. Okay, no problems at all. So I worked hard on that, but not hard enough, because I've seen little signs and signals here and there. I got on her, I've been on her a bunch of times, taken a few steps. She likes to auto back curiously when you get on her but anyhow, I don't feel right on her. And one of my issues would be, she's a very healthy horse, and if she wanted to let loose, I've seen her buck when I first sent her around in a canter, she got pretty frisky. Anyhow, if she were to let loose, if you came off the back end of this horse, there's no doubt in my mind you'd be tapped at least once, very strongly with a hoof, defending her rear end from you. So you can't leave feelings of defensiveness on this rear end. You can go on YouTube and see all kinds of videos of jumpers, people going over jumps, and nobody bothered to desensitize their rear end of the horses. And you could see people coming off over jumps, and you can see people getting double tapped while they're in the air before they even hit the ground. It's a real thing. And now I don't come off of horses or anything, but my point is, as a professional trainer, I can't leave this and just ignore it and get on and ride the horse when I know there's a lot of aggressive sensitivity back here. So today, I scratched my head going, well, I've done quite a bit. I could flag her. She's not sensitive to the flag. She's really smart. So she's kind of conditional, and it's more about people than objects. She's not worried that much about objects. Well, she is a little bit, but anyhow. So my point is, I was trying to scratch my head a little bit and go, well, I need to get a little more desensitizing done back here. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to put a couple of lariats, one on each side, that is going to be hanging down right there at that flank that I consider to be the sensitive spot, and she's just defending her back end, which is a natural thing for a very dominant horse to do. She is a very dominant, strong, powerful mare inside her heart, huge heart. She just rules. So I thought I'd do this and attempt to stimulate the flank and the rear end and to desensitize her a little bit. I'm curious what she's going to do here, whether it's going to bother her or not. But you got to come up with things, and I left that. I'm hoping this tail sitting back here is going to kind of spank her a little bit when she gets in a trot and canter, and that's just going to send her off the top. I should have made sure I did that on the other side, did I? It's not as good of a tail, but I can change that. There we go. That's still not very good, but anyhow, you get the idea. So we'll see how this girl does. My my round penning philosophy is a little different than most. This is a classroom. I don't want to chase her around in circles, panicking. Me being aggressive and demanding her to submit to me. Okay, is that a good learning environment? Would you do that with kids in a classroom? Well, you want the kids paying attention, but in the mode, in the mood to be able to learn. And to learn, you need to be calm, relaxed, and attentive, thoughtful. If you're too emotional, if you're too worried, you're not going to learn anything. A worried kid in a classroom that's full of anxiety isn't going to learn anything. So same thing here. So I do almost all my initial work at the walk. I got to take them to a trot and a canter, because as you go up in speed and you change gaits, their emotions kick in. And that's natural and normal. So I want to teach them, when you go faster, that doesn't mean you need to be emotional, stay thoughtful. And of course, I need to canter with the saddle on, because that's the worst case for bucking. If a horse doesn't let loose in the walk and the trot, it's very common they'll start a little bit hoppity hoppity in the canter. So my approach is to ask the horse to be calm and thoughtful and respond, not react, respond by asking, what does Dave want me to do now, and making a decision. So I'm trying to teach good decision making, which is, let's do what Dave wants me to do. And then it's my job to be clear. So I've worked her up at the walk where she's really nice and responsive at the walk. And I actually worked at the trot and the canter to get the emotions steady, because at the canter she had a tendency to just go lose her mind. So we'll show you that, and then we'll see what happens with this back end of hers. Leave. Now. Thank you. Yeah, it's a little hot and humid out here. I'm sweating like a lot. So she's being a little lethargic. That's okay. I've got 4 horses of my own right here on the other side of this fence, grazing in the pasture. She was very attentive to them at first, until I suggested that I was more important than they were. Okay, this is perfect. She just wanted to take a little turn right there. So I just twitched an arm. She wants to stop right there. And she's going to pee. Let's see if she's in heat still or again. She's been in the heat twice so far at my farm, because she's a very hot girl, and now that's just a regular urination. And my boys really like her a lot, so they talk to her over the fence. What's going on back there? That's okay. Let's get her done. Don't care. Personal problem. This is my request to turn and go the other way, which she blew off a little bit because she's pointing at one of my geldings, or both my geldings. So some of her brain was thinking about them instead of me. Don't care. She initiated something on her own right there, decided to just not care about what I want her to do. So I just have to stay consistent. And as she's heading for my horses again, I want to turn her around. Good. So what I like to do is apply active and passive leadership simultaneously, or in very close proximity to each other all the time. Active leadership means do what I tell you to do. Passive leadership means I love you, I want you to be my friend, I want to be your friend. So you want to apply both of those simultaneously so the horse both wants to do what you tell it to do and knows it's going to do what you tell it to do. And then they voluntarily yield themselves to you as opposed to submitting. Ask her to turn and go the other way. I have to add a little energy. She's stalled with my horses. One of the reasons I don't mind this being nice and slow is I'm trying to teach decision making. Decisions aren't instantaneous, reactions are. So there's a process of going through, what does Dave want me to do? Am I going to do it? I want to give her the time to go through that and say, what does Dave want me to do? Am I going to do it? And then if she comes up with a wrong answer of, no, I don't want to do that right now, I give her the feedback that says, I'm going to kind of insist that you do that, and things are going to be not as good for you if you choose that way. It's just providing feedback to her decision making. You got to give them room to make those mistakes so they can learn. How did you learn in your life? You learned by making this decision and going, well, that turned out to be a bad idea. And if you're an effective adult, you might go, maybe I shouldn't make that same decision again because it doesn't work out. Well, that's all I'm trying to do with her, is let her make mistakes enough and me provide the feedback so she can learn from her mistakes and have them never become crimes. And you can watch her tail. She's very expressive about her tail. She tells you when she's pissed at you or when she warns you. It's kind of interesting when she does choose to swish it. She hates going to her right in this direction because this offside was ultra sensitive, as in she wouldn't even let you get on this side. And for a while, all she would do in this direction is trot or canter. If I turned her around, she could walk. If I sent her this way, she couldn't trot or canter. And she's squeezing me here, I think, because she's trying to stay closer to my horses, is one of my guesses. Which is fine. Or maybe this time I'll tell her, no, I don't want you that close. Okay, so I'm about ready to ask for the trot and see where that goes. Her head is in a relaxed state. Her ears are good. She's thoughtful and relaxed, responding pretty good. I want to change very early. Learning comes by change. If there's no change, you can learn to continue as is, but change really teaches. Need the trot. Those things might be a little too far forward. I might have to hang one right on her ass. Kind of like a saddlebag kind of a thing. Trot. Okay, this is her bad direction, so I'm going to turn around and ask for a canter. That's one of her best trot canter transitions she's ever given me. So you can see what I'm doing. Quit faster, quit more often, quit early. This is when they learn. She's licking and chewing over there right now. She's going, what the hell just happened? And she's soaking it in, and she's digesting it. If you don't give anybody a chance to learn, they won't learn. It takes time. Time to soak and think about it, internalize it. Push, 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 push. There's reactive behavior, but there's no learning. Now you can see the big yawn. That's a super lick and chew. So she is a very stoic individual, so she hides her feelings. Okay, this indicates that she had a lot more anxiety than she was letting on. So there's a chance the lariats are kind of doing a job at inducing anxiety, but she's not acting on it, which is what I wanted to teach her. Very nice. Are you done? I'll come up and say hi. If you want to come in, you can come in if you want. No, you're pushing on me. Why would I want to come to you? Yeah, I know. Hey, come on down here. Oh, you're really thinking about that boy over there, aren't you? Well, I'm going to insist. Yeah, he's pretty. I need your brain with me, honey. Yes. Yes, that's a good girl. Very nice. Very, very nice. You can come or stay. Your choice. Yeah, I guess we know the answer to that. Okay, let's try the other lead. That was your left lead. I might have to move those lariats to sit more on the top of her rump. Not that way. Thank you. Trot. We'll see a left lead one more time. Very nice. Nope. Appreciate the offer. She said, was that good enough? Can I stop now? That was a very, very nice transition. I was very happy with that. Okay, you're crowding me, dear. That's impressive. You had one little dip of your nose, one tiny little dip, just about the next to the last step. Her nose came down like that, and it was a tiny little thought about throwing her nose down and bringing her back end up, and she immediately shut that off. It was the tiniest little, almost reactive instinct on her part. Very, very nice. I think you are good to go. Well, but we're just going to put those on top first just because, well, you could say I'm an asshole. There we go. No, because it's my job to make sure, and this is not very different from putting saddlebags on, frankly. You're okay. I see you. You're okay. And I'm not trying to force her to buck. I want to desensitize her back end. And if she elects to buck, tell her that was a mistake. Please don't do that. Good girl. This might be a little worse than the last one. I'm sorry about that. I'm very proud of how you did. That was perfect. It just doesn't get any better. You're saying it's too hot out here for that. Yeah, it is a bit toasty. Okay, off you go. Good. Finish that. Good. So you can see, I sent her with active leadership, and as soon as she thought about it, I said, good, that's the passive leadership. One form of it. So as part of the desensitizing her rear end before this, I did standard, what I'd call standard ground handling things of flagging her all over, in her groin, in her flank, on the top, on the sides, on her legs, on her feet, everywhere, flagging. And also used a trainer's long lead line where you kind of whip it around, let it wrap around the back legs individually, let them touch the back legs really nice. And at first she was like, whoa, yeah, okay, no thank you. But you do all those, there's lots of places you can see techniques to do that, including I use a hose with a powerful nozzle and spray water on them, basically give them a powerful bath. We're not talking pressure washer, we're just talking a hose nozzle. But you put it on the spray setting, powerful setting at the end. I start with a shower setting. And you spray that back in really thoroughly and get up in there in the groin. And obviously she didn't like any of that. So we did it until she would just stand there and accept it. Saturation. And that's a big way to help them with fly spray, by the way. Once I did a good, really thorough job with the hose and the water, the fly spraying was not a big deal to change that. It was almost done by then. Okay, and you can see again, she's very responsive and thoughtful. At the walk, trot. Watch the ears and the tail, and the head position. But I'm going to make her think. I'm going to diffuse any emotions and anxiety by making her turn. And you can see, I always ask for turns away. And I've got 4 or 5 reasons for that. And they're all good reasons. Like the most important one is your own safety. There's nothing worse than a horse coming at you bucking. It'll run right through you, over you, knock you down. And she's a lot more pissed off when I tell her to turn now, because her emotions are higher from that action back there. Her head's higher. It's all okay. I want to learn to not be emotional. So the way I teach a horse, bucking is criminal behavior, not a mistake. You don't ever buck around humans. I don't ride them or put a saddle on and let them get the buck out. I immediately tell them, I'm not looking for that. Saddle's riding forward on her shoulders. So don't flame me, please. That's just apparently the way that saddle fits her, which is not a good thing. Thought it was a pretty good fit on the width. Good. I'm happy with that. Not as good a transition as before, but and it's a little wonky, but I don't mind. You kept your head about you. and lick and chew and yawning. Yeah, I knew there were feelings going on in there, but very well done. I probably haven't said this quite in this video, but I really like this horse. This is a very powerful mare inside. She knows who she is, and she's very self-sufficient, self-secure. She directs things to happen around her. Things don't happen to her. Although she has not been exposed to much, so she's unsure about a lot of physical things. I'm leading her with my tractor now because she really hated objects. And I've got her through a lot of it, but she just needs exposure to the world. You know, grew up in a pasture and lived there. So, but I really like how she thinks, and I like a lot of horse. I want to just provide them with leadership, good, confident leadership, and then there's nothing they can't do. Could you get out there, please? Thank you. Out more. Thank you. That'll do. Good. Okay, let's see that right lead. You can see her ears. Oh, very nice. One more time. Thank you. Oh, that was really nice. I see how you feel. Yeah, I can see how you feel about that. It's okay. You're doing great. You're handling it. You're clinging to yourself. Yes, that's all we need. I am very happy with that. You actually surprised me, girl. I didn't think I'd done a good enough job on that rear end yet. So in a way, I guess that was a test, but I actually thought you were going to learn something from it. And you might have. I saw the stimulation. Yes, see? I can see it bothered you. Yes. So it did raise your anxiety. So one of the things I do is to teach horses auto-regulation, emotional auto-regulation, which means control your emotions. You have a choice how you feel. One of the ways I do that is I call it yo-yoing their emotions. I take their anxiety up, I bring their anxiety down. I take their anxiety up, I take it down. Over a while, when you try to take their anxiety up, they start to go up and they go, you know what? High anxiety does not feel good. I choose to not go there. Boom. And then every time they come to a situation where it might cause their anxiety to go up, they catch themselves and they go, nope. Boom. It's a beautiful thing to teach. It takes a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks of good work to teach a horse that's got a lot of trouble with its emotions, auto-regulation. Because she's a very powerful mare inside, she's already controls her emotions better than a lot of horses. Well, if you're in charge, you kind of have to. And people don't let you be in charge if you're inconsistent, you're emotional. And emotions make you inconsistent because then you act based on however you feel at that moment. Yeah. And horses actually hate that from their humans. Okay. You got an A for that exercise. So in a way, I was hoping that would, I guess that you would kind of fail a little at that, and that I could teach you something from it. But no mistakes. Oh yes, my horses are moving around. Oh, hi Striker. Yeah, he's right there. He's my lover boy. Okay, let's go stop this camera. I guess I should say good girl and spend a quiet moment with you before I walk out, huh? Yes, I'm more important. Thank you. Yes, appreciate your help, Striker. Yes, you're very cute. Hey, psst, psst, I'm here for a reason. Come on down. I know it's hard for me to compete with him, but I'm going to try. There you go. I need this face. I need. Thank you. There we go. No, no. This is your chance to be selfish. You have a horse to serve your needs. They are serving your needs, which makes them your servant, which means that makes you master. This is a master-servant relationship. In exchange for their voluntarily yielded service, you give them the best of everything, especially peace. Offer peace in their presence. Offer it all the time. When you ask for them a change in them in some way, give them a cue, a communication, that's disturbing the peace. And as soon as you give them that communication, they should know that there's peace being offered. Buck likes to call that teach them to look for a better deal and always be offering a better deal. Buck Brannigan. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get on and off of her a lot. So I'm going to, if I have enough battery left, record another one. 32 minutes. Ouch.